Welcome to our weekly devotion. There's a beautiful verse in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9, where the sage writes these incredible words that I think will challenge you, encourage you, and let you know God's in control. He writes here, "The heart of man plans his way." In other words, in life, we make plans for business transactions. We make holiday plans. We'll go to this destination. We plan to visit this person. We plan to achieve this. We plan to conquer this in our life. We're always making plans. And then he says, but the Lord establishes his steps. In other words, we make our plans, but it's God who steers our steps of life as we want to follow him. If we want to walk in his way, he will steer our plan, steer our steps, and make his plan become our plan if you want, so that we surrender to him. And this is very evident when you look at the apostles in the book of Acts. We see them, the church has just been birthed, and we see Peter and John, and they're going to they're going to pray in the temple. As they go up to the temple to pray, then they see a lame man lying begging for food and some money on the side of the road here, and he asked them for some money, and they said to him, "Look, we haven't got any, we haven't got anything. With no silver, with no gold, but what I do have, says Peter, in Jesus' name I'll give to you. Rise up and walk." And the man stood up and walked. He'd never done this in 40 years in his whole life. He stands up, he's suddenly healed, and the man then follows them in and prays and so on. And it's an incredible story, and the people outside are mesmerized by this, and they're taken by this, because here's these regular people, and they're doing these incredible things. Such was God's plan. They were just going to pray, but God had another plan for them aside from that, and so they fit in with God's plan. And then, of course, the next part of that plan is where they have to appear before the Sanhedrin. They appear before these men and these sort of religious authoritarians, if you want. They punish them by telling them you can never present the gospel, you mustn't speak in Jesus' name anymore. To which they say, well, we've got to keep doing that because all this healing is in his name, it's all for him. So we're going to keep doing that. And they do it very respectfully and honorably. But the point I want to make in all of that is that we're called to follow God's plan. Sometimes his plan is easy and encouraging, like, wow, we saw this man healed. The next time it's not going to be so encouraging, because here they are on trial before this religious body who could have them punished severely for presenting the gospel. So we don't know what God's plan is, but that plan, even before that Sanhedrin group, is that they will present his truth. It's an opportunity. The scriptures even tell us that, we could be before kings and rulers and present the truth. We don't expect that, but that could come from us if you want. The Lord could put that in our lives. So I want to encourage you today. You've probably got loved ones and friends and family who as yet don't know Jesus. And your responsibility, my responsibility, is to actually tell them. It's not just a point of living before them and hoping that they catch and glean something. Let's present this truth clearly, distinctly, knowing that the Lord will open those doors for us, because his plan is that everybody understands this. His plan is that all mankind in this world hear his gospel. Parts of the world haven't heard it yet. We want to be praying that workers will go there and get this gospel to those peoples. We're praying that our own families, our own loved ones, friends and neighbors, work colleagues will come to know Christ. We want to see a work of God. So our plan should be, Lord, we want to be about your business like the apostles were. We want to do what you want to see done. And so, Lord, as we go through life, we ask that you will be the one steering, directing our steps. And Lord, help us walk into your steps with our feet, because that's where we will present the gospel, and that's where you will do your work. Be blessed and be encouraged as you step into that ministry of the Lord this week. Glorify him. Let him steer your steps. Let him direct your path, so that you can truly speak on his authority to people who will listen and understand and hear his truth. Be blessed and be encouraged. Look forward to catching you next week. See you then. Take care, and every blessing. Keep pressing on. Thanks.